Hello to everyone. This is our project called Clinical Key for Electrical Stimulation in Physiotherapy and Rehabilitation, which was founded by Erasmus program of the European Union. The project coordinator is represented by Pamukkale University from Denizli, Turkey. The other partners in association are University of Craiova from Craiova, Romania, Hatay Mustafa Kemal University, Hatay, Turkey, Basket University from Ankara, Turkey, Süleyman Demirel University from Isparta, Turkey, Šiauliai State University of Applied Sciences, Šiauliai, Lithuania, Burdur Mehmet Akif Ersoy University from Burdur, Turkey. We are also in association with Turkish Physiotherapy Association from Turkey, Order of Physiotherapists in Romania from Romania, Lithuanian Physiotherapy Association from Lithuania, and Estonian Association of Physiotherapists from Estonia. My name is Eva Ilie. I am representing the University of Craiova, Faculty of Physical Education and Sports, Department of Physical Therapy and Sport Medicine from Craiova, Romania. My subject will be Healthy Nerve Physiology from Module 1, Healthy and Denervated Muscle Physiology. So neurobiology centers on neurons transmitting information via intricate electrochemical signals. Unrevealing the nervous system will deepen our grasp on the brain's impact on behavior and cognition, which is a constantly evolving field. The nervous system information transfer includes intricate steps. Neurotransmitter releases, ion channels regulations, and synaptic strength regulation. This precision is vital for an efficient body function. The main role of the nervous system is to process information. It achieves this by facilitating communication between neurons, both with neural networks and with effector cells in organs. Chemical signals, including neurotransmitters and neuropeptides, play a pivotal role in intercellular communication. The transmission's intensity depends, it dynamically adjusts according to the stimulus strength, so allowing for nuance and context-sensitive information to exchange between cells. So the central nervous system includes medulla, pons, cerebellum, midbrain, the telencephalous, spinal cord. The brain harnesses these divisions to skillfully regulate wide spectrum of physical and cognitive functions. These are orchestration that paves the way for the emerges of intricate behavior and actions in an interconnected manner. So the central nervous system is also described by three axes, which refer to the rostral, caudal, to the dorsal ventral and medial lateral directions. We will now be talking about the anatomy and physiology of the central nervous system. We briefly talked about the components of the central nervous system in the previous slide, and now we will take it one by one and develop for a while. For the spinal cord, a total of 31 pairs of spinal nerves establish connections between the spinal cord, muscles, skin, sensory receptors. The dorsal roots transfer sensory data into the spinal cord, while the ventral roots transmit the motor instructions away from the spinal cord. As for the medulla, this is an extension of the spinal cord and it regulates blood pressure and respiration. The pons is positioned above the medulla and houses pontine nuclei that relay sensory and motor signals between the cerebral cortex and the cerebellum. Its dorsal section plays roles in respiration and the taste functions. As the brainstem's smallest segment, the midbrain has a pivotal function in linking various motor systems in the brain. So it encompasses elements relevant to vision, hearing, and eye movements, serving as a vital hub for interconnecting these diverse motor functions. Situated above the pons, the cerebellum boasts more neurons than any other brain region. It's essential for upholding posture, orchestrating head and eye movement, and refining muscle movements and motor proficiency. As for the encephalon, this splits into two parts, the thalamus and hypothalamus. The thalamus transmits sensory data with the exception of olfaction. Below the thalamus, the hypothalamus oversees the vital homeostasis and reproduction functions like growth, feeding, drinking, and maternal behavior. So it does this by managing hormonal secretions from the pituitary gland. For the telencephalon, this is the cerebral hemispheres, the brain's largest part, and manages the perception, movement, memory, and emotions. So they encompass the cerebral cortex, white matter, and the deep structures in the corpus callosum links the two hemispheres together. For the anatomy and physiology of the peripheral nervous system, the peripheral nerve axons stem from different points of the nervous system, including sensory neurons in dorsal root ganglia, autonomic neurons in autonomic ganglia, and motor neurons in ventral horn of the spinal cord or brainstem. So we are going to talk about the endoneurium, which is a connective tissue surrounding myelinated axons. This includes Schwann cells. Each Schwann cell wraps around a single myelinated axon, forming an internode. These nodes of Ranvier, gaps between myelinated Schwann cells along the axons. Basal lamina supports Schwann cells, maintaining nerve fiber structures. And connective tissue within the endoneurium contain collagen fibroblasts, mast mast cells, macrophages, and fluids. Regarding the perineurium, this is a dense connective tissue around a bundle of axons with up to 15 layers of flat perineurial cells. The composition contains collagen fibers, elastic fibers for strength and flexibility. The function regulates substance exchange between blood vessels and axons, forms diffusion barriers with the blood-nerve barrier. Mechanical strength is the primary load barrier component of the nerve, and it's crucial for nerve protection and for proper function. The epineuron is a connective tissue around the nerve fascicles containing collagen, elastic fibers, fibroblasts, mast cells, and fat cells. So multiple fascicles in nerve with multiple fascicles, it may have epifascicular and interfascicular layers. Regarding the anatomy and physiology of autonomic nervous system, this includes the central control, which is referred to hypothalamus and brainstem, the sensory receptors, which are the baroreceptors and chemoreceptors, the peripheral effectors, which are smooth muscles, cardiac muscles, glands, the reflex pathways, which represent sympathetic and parasympathetic pathways, endocrine interaction, which is the adrenaline and noradrenaline involved in sympathetic response. Also, the autonomic nervous system is divided in two systems. So the sympathetic nervous system, also known as CNS, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is known by PNS. For the sympathetic nervous system, preganglionic fibers, they can originate in the T1 to L3 spinal segments. As a pathway, they enter paravertebral ganglia and can transverse the sympathetic chain to synapse with postganglionic neurons. So the postganglionic fibers, these are unmyelinated and target organs, eliciting physiological responses during sympathetic activation. For the parasympathetic nervous system, the preganglionic fibers of this arises from midbrain, medulla oblongata, and sacral spinal segments. So the innervation would be from ganglia near or in innervated tissue, represented by cranial nerves 2, 7, 9, 10, also known as vagus nerve major carrier. And the effects would be the targeted organs such as heart, lungs, abdominal organs, except distal colon, rectum, genitourinary tissue via sacral segments from S2 to S4. Regarding the nerve structure, so neuron comprise a cell body called soma, housing organelles like nucleus and mitochondria. The neurites branch from the soma, axons carry signals away, and dendrites relay signals in. The Nissl substance aids in the membrane synthesis. The nervous system development stems from neuroectoderm forming the central nervous system neurons and neural crest cells giving rise to the peripheral nervous system neurons, ganglion cells, and Schwann cells. Neurons lack regeneration capacity, but post-birth, plasticity allows adaptation to experience. For myelin, this produces by glia cells, so it increases, speeds basically the impulse conduction. This is made by glia cells like oligodendritis in the central nervous system and Schwann cells in the peripheral nervous system. The nerves are axon bundles in protective layers. We have entonerium that guards individual axons. We have perinerium that wraps fascicles, and we have epinerium that covers the entire nerve. So for the innervation process, there are three neuron types. Sensory, that is interpreting sensory stimuli. Motor, sending messages to muscles or glands. And interneurons, that are transmitting signals between neurons. So sensory neurons interpret sensory input. Motor neurons convey the message to muscle or glands. Interneurons transmit signals between neurons. So afferent neurons bring information to the central nervous system, while efferent neurons carry information from the central nervous system. Nerves impulses are electrochemical signals, as we mentioned before. So action potential are rapid changes in membrane potential. Resting membrane potential arises from ion movements, sodium, potassium, chloride, that create charge separation. So the sodium-potassium pump maintains the resting potential. Depolarization caused by sodium influx triggers action potential. So the all or none principle dictates response requiring a threshold to initiate. Also, we have the voltage gate ion channels, and myelin contribute to neuron function. The voltage gate sodium channel brings rapid depolarization during sodium influx. The voltage gated potassium channel lead to repolarization and a reflectory period to avoid redundant action potential. For the myelin enhances conduction speed, that enabling saltatory conduction. So nodes of Rampere focus energy and enable fast propagation. So, comprehending nerve physiology is essential for diagnosing and managing neurological concerns and recognizing the significance of robust nerve function. Nerves rely signals for movement, sensation, autonomic control, influencing musculoskeletal, sensory, and autonomic system. So nerve impairment can result in pain, numbness, weakness, and of course functional loss. Peripheral neuropathy encompasses axonal and demyelinating forms, discerns through nerve conduction studies, preserving nerve health via a wholesome lifestyle, chronic condition management, and toxin avoidance is pivotal for overall well-being. These are the references that helped conducting this chapter. This is our beautiful team, and I want to thank you all for your attention.